Just quickly before the video starts, I did want to let you guys know that I do now have a TikTok. The link to that will be in the description below, and also the tips and tricks that I talk about in this video do get better / more advanced the further you watch through, so make sure you watch to the very end to get the very best tips. And apart from that, thank you so much for watching. Enjoy the video. Bye. Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Drueboy, and today I'm going to be giving you guys the rank tips and tricks on how to get better at the game. With this guide today, I'm going to be helping you get out of that rank that you are hard stuck in, whether that be silver, whether that be gold, whatever else. So without further ado, let's just jump right into the video. Okay, so the first tip that I have for you is to pick a main gun. And by this, I mean that you need to pick a class in ranked that you can just play every single game. Because if you only play with one class, you're eventually going to get really good at that class. And this skill is going to help you to boost yourself out of those low ranks into those higher ranks. Some examples of classes that you may choose to pick are like semi-auto, rev maybe. I would try to stay away from the AK if possible, just because there are so many players that already have the AK as their main gun. And obviously with only 4 people to a team and only 2 AKs being allowed in play at one time, you may have to sometimes decide to choose another class. And it would be so much easier if you were able to queue into a game and not have to worry about all the AKs or all the SMGs being taken. After hearing that, you may still decide to choose to main AK, and that is completely fine. But you may just want to prepare yourself in the event that you do queue into a game and the AK is already taken. Now there are also some classes that I would advise against playing, such as Sniper and Blaster. I would only recommend Sniper to be used by those higher level players, and at lower levels of play these two classes are definitely seen as throw classes. So I would argue that you maybe don't want to be picking either of these two classes to main. Okay, now the second tip that I have to share with you is to learn map callouts. In Krunker, the main maps such as Sandstorm and Undergrowth have names for every part of the map, so you can effectively communicate with your teammate as to exactly where the enemies are that killed you. I'm sure you can find videos on YouTube of all the map callouts for Sandstorm and Undergrowth in particular, and if not, please do let me know in the comments down below so I can make a video that goes over all the map callouts in Sandstorm and Undergrowth. Now I mentioned Sandstorm and Undergrowth because these are the 2 main maps that you're going to be playing in competitive Krunker. You don't have to worry too much about the other maps such as Berg and Lumber, or it may have changed now that Season 3 has come out. Maybe those more advanced players would like to learn the callouts for all these other maps, but if you're not going to be playing them too often, then it's not really an issue to not know them, in my opinion. Now going back to what I said earlier about effectively communicating with your teammate, this actually links in nicely to the third tip that I'm going to be giving you here today, which is to find a teammate. Now of course, competitive Krunker only allows for you to be able to team up with one other player, so I would recommend finding a player of a similar skill level to you who also wants to learn and improve, so that you can learn and improve together. Eventually, just through playing with them over and over again, you guys are going to start to have that chemistry going, you're going to learn how to play off one another, and that is in turn going to improve your gameplay, and hopefully your rank as well. Now the next tip that I want to give you guys is that you need to focus on your mindset. One of the biggest things that I see in silver players is their horrible mindset and attitude towards the game. Whether they just decide to give up after they lose a round, or they refuse to switch off a gun. I feel that mindset is definitely one of the biggest things that you have to focus on in order to get better at this game. If you actually want to be able to win a game, you need to believe that you can win it. Not only this, but you need to be self-critical of yourself and your own gameplay, and you need to analyze where you went wrong in a game and how to improve for next time if you truly want to improve at this game. You shouldn't stay blaming your teammates for your losses, even though some of these losses may actually be caused by them, and there will also be times where you do get unfair games, but you just gotta be in the right mindset to move past it and try your best. Because at the end of the day, even if you're not winning, you're still playing against these better players and you're learning how to improve against them, which ultimately in the long run will improve your skill level. Now the next thing that I do just want to quickly mention is aim. It's no secret that aim is a key component of ranked in Krunker. Usually if you can out-aim your opponents, you can kill them and win your 1v1s, which ultimately leads into one of the factors of winning a ranked match. And yeah, aim is an important factor. It does directly correlate to ping, so obviously the lower your ping is, the better aim you'll tend to have. And the only way there really is of improving your aim is either just through playing the game or through playing Kovaaks. If you do decide to improve your aim via Kovaaks, then I do recommend using the Voltaic Benchmarks Google Sheet to track your high scores. Now, of course, everything we've gone over in this video already will indeed factor into you being able to improve as a ranked player, but ultimately I do believe that the most important factor is Gamesense. By Gamesense, I mean how well you actually know the inner workings of the game. In a game like Krunker, this mostly means how well you know spawns, because if you know how spawns work on every map, then you know where every single enemy is at pretty much all times. And then from this knowledge, you can develop strategies to counter the enemies. Let's take the gameplay that you're watching right now, for example. I see my team has been wiped off the point. I wipe this enemy off the point and then I go to tunnel, where I see my teammate getting shot at by 2 enemies, so I flank them and I'm able to catch both of them off guard. This was a really good play from me, and this gave my team a lot of value, as it allowed us to hold point uninterrupted for longer, as obviously a 2v4 is much easier to defend than say a 4v4. Another thing that also plays into Gamesense is controlling spawns and being able to control a spawn for your team. The first point on Undergrowth is a very easy point to hold if your team can hold the pillar spawn for the entirety of the round, as this also means that the enemies will have to spawn on the complete opposite side of the map. If you successfully hold pillar, even if 3 of you get wiped off the point, if you still have pillar control, you can still respawn at pillar and quickly clean up the rest of the enemy team before their players can respawn and get back to the point. Off angles are another very good example of learned Gamesense. For example, on Undergrowth point 4, if 3 of your team are on point and you decide to go off point and hold from tree, if the enemies were to do a rush push where they all just flood the point, then you, who's at tree, can shoot them all in the back, getting huge damage and huge value for your team. And it may completely decimate any chance that the enemy team had of being able to successfully push and retake that site. A lot of improving in this game comes from learned knowledge such as Gamesense and map callouts, which is why oftentimes the best ways to improve is just simply by playing the game. I feel like in this video I've covered quite a broad topic of different ways that you can improve. Some of the tips that I've given in this video, such as finding a duo partner, may have helped some of the lower level players even more than something like Gamesense that may help a higher level player to improve more. Ultimately, I do still believe that Gamesense is the #1 factor that people need to improve on in order to get better at rank. But ultimately, these tips do cater to different skill levels of players differently. So whether you're in bronze or if you're in gold, I really do hope that you found something helpful in this video, because I have tried to talk about a range of topics that do of course cater to all different types of players. So if you've made it to the end of the video, thank you very much. Please do consider dropping a subscription if you enjoyed this video and would like to see more content from me. If I've scheduled this video correctly, my exam should now be over, and my settings video should have came out 2 weeks ago today. So if you have not seen that video yet and would like the best ranked settings, then please feel free to check out the video. It should be on your screen somewhere now. And apart from that, that's about it from me. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to leave a like and subscribe. Thank you so much for making it to the end of this video, and yeah, take care.